What's up everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to review the eFootball update. We have a new pack, as you can see here. There is a new player, it's Thiago Alcantara, and he's added in this Spanish midfielder pack with Clarence Seedorf and Kubo. So there's a new player, two older players. Not the greatest pack, to be honest, and we know that there's going to be on New Year's Eve another pack that's going to be released that probably is going to be more interesting than this one. This one is just for you to wait until New Year's. And Thiago Alcantara, it seems that he's a decent card. We're going to have a look at him, but perhaps a little bit disappointing for a new player. Clarence Seedorf here and Kubo coming along. A little bit of a lackluster pack, like it has been the case over the last few weeks. Ever since really the Zlatan Ibrahimovic pack, we haven't seen really anything that was really worth spinning for if you're someone who's been playing the game for a while. Now, of course, if you're just starting, then perhaps these are players that could be interesting for you to build your team. But if you've been here for a while, if you already have some of the cards, some of the players, then you probably don't need to spin for this one. So let's have a quick look here at this player. Clarence Seedorf, he's got phenomenal pass and low screamer. And he plays for Real Madrid. So the previous Seedorf, he was for, of course, AC Milan. This one is a box-to-box midfielder, can play pretty much everywhere. Very much it is the same card as the previous Clarence Seedorf here. Nothing much really to see. I don't think he really adds anything to the game unless you're a Real Madrid fan and you want to have a Clarence Seedorf without the Real Madrid license, MD white, as you can see here. Not really the most interesting card. I think his AC Milan card was more interesting. Of course, he's got the low screamer and phenomenal pass. Not skills that are all that interesting. I think low screamer, it is a little bit overrated. Phenomenal pass, it is good, but visionary pass, the one that Thiago Alcantara is, I would say, the best premium skill for passers. So let's have a quick look here at this new Thiago Alcantara card, a new player, 87 rated. Midfield orchestrator, and he can play defensive mid, he can play offensive mid, a very good passer, very good dribbler, a little bit on the smaller size, 174, and he's going to be on the weaker side. And that's probably going to be one of the issues with this card. He plays for Barcelona, and in many ways I think that if you have Iniesta, if you have Xavi, then you probably don't need this Thiago card. This is a card that's made for people who are Barcelona fans, and they're going to collect all the Barcelona cards, and they want to have every single player who ever played for Barcelona, then they're going to go for this one. But if you're just, trying to build a competitive squad with just, players from all different clubs, then this is probably a card that you can skip. Let's have a quick look here. He's got double touch, flip flap, and soul control. So he's got the double touch level 3 right off the bat. Marseille turn. So he's going to be really, really complete in terms of dribbling. One touch pass. Doesn't have a one first time shot. Through passing, outside curler, no look pass, visionary pass, low lofted pass. So a lot of the passing skills also. It's going to be a decent midfield orchestrator, even though he is on the weaker side here. But I don't think he has all that much into the game. If you have already one of the midfielders from Barcelona, whether it is Thiago or whether it is, Xavi or Iniesta, I think this guy is going to basically going to be the same. He's not going to add much. And the last one is Kubo. Here we've already seen a bunch of cards of Kubo, and this one's got momentum, dribbling, and phenomenal pass. I think the previous one just maybe momentum, dribbling, so they're adding phenomenal pass to this card. 86 rated. He looks almost exactly the same as the previous Kubo card that I already had. And to be honest, at this point, they're just adding cards and there's no new content in the game. and it's just repetitive content. You just have divisions essentially, and if you're gonna spin and get these cards, what are you getting these cards for? There is no content to play with these cards anyway. So I think they've run out of novelty with adding these cards, because now they've run out of players and they're just adding the same players over and over again. So let's say, I've been playing this game for a while. I already have Seedorf. I already have Kubo. They're just adding Thiago Alcantara. Am I going to open this pack to get this one card that is exactly the same as some other cards that I already have, considering 2 of the 3 cards that they're adding here I already have them? The answer is obviously going to be no. And I think at this point, they need to start releasing new game modes, sort of new challenges for you to use these cards, because just releasing cards after cards is not going to cut it. Even if you add a point here and there, even if you had a skill here and there, is just not going to justify people spending money on this game. But that is it for this update here for today. And we know that in the coming week, and especially on New Year's, there's going to be new players that are going to be released, and perhaps a pack that'll be a little bit more interesting. If you were thinking, oh, I want to buy some players, my team is not good enough, just wait one more week until you get the new special Lionel Messi card. Let's have a look at this here. We're gonna take on to X, Twitter, and we're gonna have a look here. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about here is this New Year's free Showtime card that you're gonna be able to get if you connect on New Year's. Then you're gonna be able to pick one of those cards, just like last year when we had I think we had Hendrick, we had Darwin Nunez, and I can't remember who the last one was, but there was a vote of the community and you could choose the players that we wanted. And here it seems that the community has settled on Dean Huijsen in defense here, as you can see, and then Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield and Marcus Rashford in attack. I actually voted for Dean Huijsen, and this might be the guy that I will get, just because there's not that many defenders in the Spanish league. I think Marcus Rashford might be interesting. Maybe they'll give him Blitzcurler, so it could be an interesting card. Kevin De Bruyne, we've seen already some Kevin De Bruyne cards. There's a lot of them. He's already had, I think, I have a player of the week, Kevin De Bruyne from Napoli, and of course a bunch of cards from Manchester City. I think Huijsen is the more interesting card, just because there's so little defenders in the Spanish league. There was Estevao in the choice on the poll that Konami conducted. I voted for Estevao. I think he would have been a little bit more interesting to have a Blitzcurler Estevao than Marcus Rashford, but I guess Rashford is the more popular player, and he's a Barcelona player once again. So people, I can understand why they would vote for him. So we'll see, but I might get Dean Huijsen on this one. So then now let's skip to the next pack that's going to be released on New Year's. We already have all the info, of course, everything, all the data is packed in the update that arrived today. So we already know who the players are going to be, and it's going to be this Messi card. He's going to be, I think, something like 109 rated. So just like last year when there was Gareth Bale that had this monster card released in a 300 player pack, now this year we're going to have this Lionel Messi in a 300 player pack, most likely. We don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that's going to be the case. That's why there are so many legends. It's what, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 legends. So it's the same as last year. I think there were 9 legends. So maybe it's going to be a 250 player pack or something like that. We'll see. But anyway, it's not going to be a 150 player pack. I highly doubt it, considering it's going to be so many legends. But as you can see here, we're going to have John Oshie, We're going to have Franco Baresi, Johan Cruyff, Roberto Carlos, Dennis Bergkamp, and Eric Cantona. So all those guys in a pack with a super boosted Messi card. In many ways, I think he's also underwhelming, just as a lot of the cards that are released now by Konami. We're gonna see here. Let's have a look at the skills. So you see big time Messi, creative playmaker with blitzcurler and momentum dribbling. And last year the MSN Messi, he already had blitzcurler. I can't remember if he had the momentum dribbling or not, but all in all, it's not all that different from that previous Messi card. The other one was 100 rated. This one is going to be 109. But, if you have the previous MSN Messi, is it worth it to go and spin for just one more point to this card? No, it is not, considering it is the same skills, and the only one that matter really here is Blitzcurler. So if you already have a Blitzcurler Messi, it's probably not going to be worth it. So let's see the rest here. We got Cantona. He's going to have phenomenal finishing and momentum dribbling. Once again, I have the Cantona, the previous one, with phenomenal finishing. So you're just adding momentum dribbling here. Dennis Bergkamp, deep playing forward with visionary pass. I have one of the previous Bergkamp card, and I have to say I was quite disappointed. It was a freebie, one that we got for free in one of the promotions from Konami, but nothing really special from this card. Baresi gets Fortress and Aerial Fort. Cruyff gets phenomenal pass and momentum dribbling, so not even a phenomenal finishing for Cruyff. They could have given him phenomenal pass and phenomenal finishing, would have been more interesting. Not the case here. Let's see, Roberto Carlos gets Fortress and Edge Crossing. So once again, we had Roberto Carlos with the Edge Crossing released not so long ago. So you add Fortress to that. And John O'Shea finally making his arrival to the game. We've been talking about this guy for a long time. We know he was in the data set, and he'll be coming now as a destroyer with the long reach tackle. So this is going to be the pack for New Year's. And there's going to be this pack that's going to be a pain pack, and you get the free Showtime one. And so now the last one is going to be this. It seems that this would be Showtime players according to Peter Legenou. If you know this guy, you should probably follow him on Twitter here. This guy always unpacks the data set of the update, and he looks into the files to know which are the players that are going to be released ahead of time. So here we have a Showtime pack here. And we have, of course, those three players here that we know are going to be for free. And there's going to be also Courtois, Saliba, this is Voltmade, this is Aaron Rodgers. We have Chouameni here, Declan Rice, and this one is going to be, what's his name? The guy from West Ham. Anyway, so more Showtime cards, more legends, and new Messi for the new year. But all in all, it's nothing really surprising, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing really that I would say would justify to actually spin for these players, just like this Spanish League midfielder pack here that is not really adding much, just this Thiago Alcantara card. And not an exceptional card, like if you compare this Thiago Alcantara to midfielders that have already been released in the game, perhaps cards you already have, he's not going to be better than them. He's actually going to be, slightly less. I would say Seedorf here, even in this pack, this Seedorf card is probably better than this Thiago Alcantara. So what's the point really to spin for this Thiago Alcantara? And same thing for the New Year's Eve pack. We're going to Messi 109. We already have, like, everybody who's played the game for a little while has a dozen Messi card. You get another Messi card. If you already have a decent Messi, then what's the point? And really they should, if they're going to be just releasing players, then they need to release new players like every week if they want people to keep opening these packs. And if not, then they just need to up the amount of game modes, up the amount of ways that you can use these players, because at this time it's just an endless grind of division, and the game is sort of becoming pointless week after week, just releasing another pack, yet another pack. It doesn't really cut it after all this time. Now they need to actually do something to improve the game and make the game more interesting. Anyway, guys, that is it for this review here of the update and of the packs that are going to be released in the coming weeks. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.
And sub to the channel, hit me with that like, and click the effing bell. Click that little right, the algo recommends, for she go like, the algo knows you well. Hit me with that like, subscribe to the channel, hit me with that like, and click the effing bell.